noches and welcome to Generación Latina. Here your host, Carolina Peña. I am delighted to introduce and feature tonight's show one of the organizations that is making a true difference in our community, especially with all of you Latino youth who are watching. So I am pleased to introduce tonight Luis Borunda, who is the founder and president and CEO and everything of the U.S. Hispanic Youth Entrepreneur Education Organization.
It's a long title, huh?
It is a long title. So we call it USHYEE, right?
Right, we call it USHYEE, right.
Thank you, Luis, so much for coming tonight. And I am also here with us is Jessica Mendoza. But I want to start with you, Luis, and just tell me a little bit about this organization. You guys have been around, and you're seen in I've seen you all over the place. And you're always kind of like hanging around with this, gang of like young students that are with you that are going and just getting exposed to so much in our area with Latino leaders. So I'm just really curious to learn more of the depth of what you're doing with Latino youth.
Well, it's an exciting adventure. We focus on the high school to college continuum for Latino youth, and we help them understand that business is a career option. And then from there, everything kind of folds down into the grid. But what the inspiration for the organization came about when I was appointed to the Baltimore County School Board. And I asked the school board, actually it was a joint meeting between the Baltimore County School Board and the Baltimore City School Board. And I asked a very simple question. I just asked what we're doing for the growing population of Latino youth in the region. And the answer was deafening silence. And so being a small business man, I knew that it was going to take a while for these big ships, county school boards, to react. In fact, I soon discovered that, generally speaking, they're more reactive than proactive. And as a business owner, I'm proactive. And so we began this nonprofit and began real small and met a few students that wanted to become part of a Latino organization for students. Obviously, there was nothing there. And so Jessica was one of those first students that we met many, many years ago. Well, not that long ago, but a few years ago. And the organization has grown. We partnered with the Hispanic College Fund to bring the Hispanic Youth Symposium. Today it's called the Hispanic Youth Institute, I think. Mm-hmm. But we brought that to Maryland and had it at UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, for 2 years, or two or 3 years, I forget which. And then it was moved to Towson University, where it resided up until last year.
Correct. So this is great. Now, how long ago did you begin the organization?
Well, on paper, it began in 2004.
Okay.
But the first program was that Hispanic Youth Symposium, and we began to look at different ways to reach students outside of that summer time frame, and we began the Achieve Forums. We currently have that program meeting 8 times a year, 4 times at Towson University in the fall, and 4 times at Johns Hopkins University in the spring. And we bring students from all over the state, places as far away as, from Baltimore anyway, as Frederick County and Montgomery County, mm-hmm. and Prince George's County, obviously Anne Arundel, Baltimore County, Baltimore City being closer.
Right, and we'll definitely get more into the specific programs that are available, and you being kind of like the man with the vision. I know that your vision has in so many ways come to fruition here with Jessica, who's a role model, an example. In fact, she was honored by the mayor of Baltimore as a top Latina leader. So Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. You are kind of the star of USHYEE. But I want to get to know you a little bit more personally. So tell me a little more about you.
Okay. Well, I moved to the United States from Argentina, where I grew up. I started going to Parkville High School when I was 15. And shortly after I started school here, my ESOL teacher recommended for me to go to a town hall meeting. And in that town hall meeting, I met Luis Borunda.
So you're like barely learning English and you're
Yeah.
placed in this kind of like political, local situation and you meet, which is great. Now, what did you see in him and what sort of drew you both together?
Well, he invited me to go to the Hispanic Youth Symposium, where he said I will learn a lot because I was so confused about everything. So he recommended for me to go to that program, and that was, I think, the start of our friendship, cause and our mentoring relationship and everything. So that was my first experience, and then the USHYEE forums were after that, and I started first. I attended as a student, and then towards my senior year, I attended as a volunteer because I knew everything that was going on, and he asked me to help him in some things. So I've been volunteering during a few years in college too. I'm a senior at UMBC, by the way. So right now we are working together actually in these programs. This is after-school programs that we have.
And let me just say, you're not just working together, you're program director with this nonprofit, which is quite an achievement considering you're barely out of undergrad studies, and you've done already a lot. So you're quite an example. And one of the things that that I really just wanted to focus on was, how is it that you're new to the country, you barely understand the educational system, and how is it that you can feel like you can do so much? I mean, not very many students feel like they can even get a grasp on their own homework, as new students to the country. So sort of what bridged the gap for you in your accomplishments?
For me, well, my biggest, when I first moved here, since everything was so new to me, I kind of closed myself and I was like really shy.
And how old were you?
15.
Okay.
So Luis, through the experiences that I've been with USHYEE, they have had me speak at several events. They had me speak to people, about USHYEE. So I started to get more comfortable speaking to people, and I started not fearing, being shy. So, for example, to apply for anything, Luis will cheer me up. He's like, apply. You can do it. Mija, you can do it. So one of the first things that I applied that I didn't think I will get, I applied to be a student page for the Maryland General Assembly. And they only pick one student per county. And every time, in every situation I encountered where I felt like I wanted to do something, but I didn't think I was good enough for it, the things that I learned at USHYEE, the things that I learned with Luis was like, never be scared of anything, and apply anywhere. Like you might get it. The worst they can say is no to you. So opportunities like that, where I've sent an application in, and thinking that there's no way I'm gonna get it, and I end up getting it, either a scholarship, a job, things like that.
Excellent. And you're currently you're going to graduate with a major in
Financial economics.
Financial economics. And where do you see yourself going after you graduate?
I'm taking in the LSAT on Saturday. I want to go to law school, and after that, I'm not sure what job I want to get, but in the long run, 20 years from now, something like that, I would like to become an elected official.
I wouldn't say 20. I would say 10 or
Yeah.
even less. So
I agree.
I think that your vision for your future is so large and absolutely attainable, and not only because of all the experiences that you're gaining in school like everyone else, but you have a kind of like a double-edged advantage, which is that you're Latina, you're bilingual, you have an understanding of two worlds, two cultures, and that's something that not very many young Latinos get, that they have this huge advantage in a country where it's becoming more and more brown, and obviously businesses are going to want what we know, what we understand about our own culture, our own selves. So I think you're making the best use of that, and in being able to put yourself out there. It's hard. I mean, especially for students who are shy, it's really difficult sometimes to get in front of people and say anything. But you know, the way that Luis has helped you and the way that you've pushed yourself as well is really admirable, because I think you've gained so much, not only the knowledge but the confidence in doing that. Luis, how do you perceive, actually what would you perceive as the greatest problem with Latino youth? Obviously there's a lot of issues like, you know, gang involvement in pregnancies and health and economic disparities, but what do you think is the real root of the problem?
Well, those issues are very real, and the challenges that and the barriers that these young people have to overcome are just tremendous. One of the things that we really try to bring home to these young people is never give up. Always be flexible. And as Jessica said, it's really important for them to try. The worst that can be said is no. I think one of the things that she's done very, very well that I don't see a lot of young people doing is that she was not afraid to get out and meet new people. We'd go to different events and functions, and she would always grab the speaker or whoever was the person that was being highlighted that evening and ask to take a picture with them. I mean, it was really simple things just like that that I noted in her in particular, and she was not afraid to do that. And what political official, and there were plenty that she took pictures with, would say no? And so there was a young man that came from Peru about, I guess, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and Jessica kind of mentored him. And one of the things I noted about that young man, it was that he was out taking pictures with whoever as well. And those are the small things that I think that people will remember, and it means a lot. And it's just a way to get to know people. So it was just a neat tool that I observed.
Boldness goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
And we need to do more of it. I think for any student that goes out and just, you know, shakes the hand of an adult, I mean, I think the chances of the adult helping them increase by so much. You know, it's happened to me, and I know that it's so easy to just dismiss and say, you know what, they don't really care about what I have to say, or I'm just, you know, I'm so young, like I have nothing, you know, that they would care about, but it's absolutely not the case. So I want to thank you both for coming tonight. I know we have a lot more to discuss about specifically your programs and how other students can get involved. So we're going to end it right now, but we're going to pause and come right back. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming, for sharing your experience, and especially Luis for what you're doing, your leadership, your example to young Latinos in Baltimore. I hope that you're able to scale that to even to have more of a reach in our area. So thank you.
I just want you to know very quickly that you're an inspiration to us. We've seen your growth as well, and been very mindful of it, and we're excited to see where you go to.
Thank you very much. That's really, I feel very honored. So thank you, and quédense con nosotros. Like I'm here Spanglish, right? Coming back and forth. Thank you, and stay with us. We will be right back with more about USHYEE.
When you earn your GED diploma, the barriers in your life fall. Take the first step and get free GED information in your area at 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or yourged.org. Earn your GED diploma and begin your brighter future.
And we're back here with Generación Latina, and now with two different guests, but also very well connected with USHYEE, the nonprofit that we're discussing that is doing great work with Latino youth, especially in areas of business and entrepreneurship and leadership development and a whole host of things that I could mention. But we're going to get to know specifically what it is that they're doing, their programs, and how it is that you can even get involved with what they are doing. So here with us tonight also is Demi Diaz, and you're also from Ecuador like me, so I think that's really cool. Demi, tell me about you and how you got involved.
Okay. I came here to the U.S. when I was 15 years old. Then I went to Gaithersburg High School after a semester there.
So you're like a local from Montgomery County.
Yeah. I moved to Germantown, so I went to Clarksburg High School, and I graduated from there. After that, I got a scholarship, the BOT, the Board of Trustees scholarship.
At Montgomery College.
At Montgomery College. And I also got the USHYEE grant scholarship.
And that was for like a high schooler that could apply for that, and okay.
Yeah.
So now also the USHYEE grant is, if I'm not mistaken, there's a deadline, right, for May, and so students can apply. So go to USHYEE.org. Okay. All right. Just a little commercial for you guys. No problem.
Okay, and then after that, I stayed at Montgomery College for 2 years. There, I was the vice president of the Student Senate and president of the Latino Student Union. My experience at Montgomery College made me grow a lot. I really enjoyed it, and I would always be so thankful for Montgomery College.
Yep.
And then after that, I transferred to UMBC, and I got the President Award, Transfer Award, which covers my tuition. And then
so basically, you have not had to pay for a cent of your college education.
Yeah, I have to pay out-of-state tuition, so it covers half of my tuition. But then I got other scholarships. So.
Okay. Wow. Excellent. Congratulations. I mean, really, like that's your, obviously like the work and the effort that you put in high school, is giving you results even now, which I think is great. So.
And then after that, I knew about USHYEE because of the scholarship, and then I met Jessica at UMBC one day, and then I said hi to her, but she didn't recognize me, so then she was like, okay. So then I went home, and then she emailed me if it was me. I met her before at the Hispanic Youth Symposium a couple of years ago, and then she remembered me, and then we started talking, and then she told me if I wanted to participate in USHYEE, and I knew USHYEE. And before, I really wanted to get involved, and I went to one USHYEE forum, but it was far away from where I lived, so I couldn't keep going because I didn't have the transportation. But after that, I moved to Baltimore. I was really interested in getting involved and encouraging students to keep going, to go to college, because education is really important, and that is something that I really believe on, because with your education, you can make a huge impact, not just for yourself, but for your community and for the country.
I agree. And you mentioned the USHYEE Forum. Danielle, who's also with us and is program coordinator with USHYEE, tell us more about the USHYEE Forum, what it is, how can students get in, become a part of it and learn?
Sure. Well, like Luis said, we hold them 8 times a year, 4 times in the spring, 4 times in the fall. And in the fall, they're at Towson. Spring, they're at Johns Hopkins. This spring, we're actually going to be doing it a little bit different. So our first one's going to be at the United States Naval Academy. That's always a fun time. Our students really like to be outdoors with them, interacting with the students from the Naval Academy. So that's a really special opportunity. That's going to be March 24th. So that's when the first one kicks off. And you can go to USHYEE.org to sign up.
Okay, so you sign up. Is there an application selection process, or how does that?
Well, we can only take so many students. So they sign up online, and usually it's first come, first serve. We try and target, I think this year we're targeting the freshmen and sophomores, I'm pretty sure, but anyone can come. It's open freshmen through seniors in high school.
Okay, so you all heard that, right? Juniors, no, is it? Yeah, pretty much all high school, and especially.
We also have some middle school students that come too.
Really? So, okay, so you guys are not like very close to, you kind of, opportunity is there. It's there for the taking, so excellent. And some of the things that you all cover in the USHYEE Forum are leadership. What else? I know there's a number of things that people can learn.
One of the main goals that we try to achieve through these forums is college readiness, college preparedness for both students and parents. We have parent workshops as well. So we talk a lot about getting into college, the tests that you have to take, things like that. And we talk a lot about financial preparedness, financial aid, financial literacy. We go through everything such as bank accounts and how that works with our students. And we have parent segments a couple times where we pull the parents aside actually and speak more on a one-to-one basis with them about how they can help their students get there.
Great, that's so great. Besides the USHYEE Forum, I know there's also student chapters and just chapters at various schools in the area. So tell me about those. And I think you're involved in that, right, Demi?
Yes.
So tell me, how does that work?
We have chapters for 5 schools.
Which schools are they? See if you know.
I just started the program in January, so I don't know.
That's right. That's right. I know, tough question.
But
it's online, right?
Yeah, it's Woodlawn, Lansdowne, Tech,
Eastern Tech,
Eastern Tech,
Owens Mills.
Owens Mills, and
That's 5. Woodlawn,
Okay.
Eastern Tech, Owens Mills,
that's it.
Lansdowne.
And after today, you'll always remember it, right?
yes.
So, and then are these high schools?
Oh, Dulaney. Sorry.
Or
That's
middle
the 5th one.
So they're high schools or middle schools?
High school students.
Okay, and how does is this like a weekly program that you all go to and have a meeting, or?
Well, for the students, for the high school students, it's twice a month. Except for Dulaney, they already had a club going every Thursday, so we come in twice a month, but they keep going with it pretty much, which is great. We come in twice a month to each school, lead meetings, talk about college preparedness, talk about finishing high school, getting through, things like that. So Demi's gone to quite a few meetings now, so she's getting her feet wet.
Right. And that there's such a need for that because, obviously counselors they're so overwhelmed with the amount of students, and then also there's kind of like an important connection to make with someone that's going to be able to help you go through that process, be able to connect culturally even, or just at an academic level. I mean, it's not something that anybody can just come and tell you what to do, how to get to college. So I think that you guys are bridging a very important gap, that is necessary in our schools, that not many students even come to think about what's next, in their future until they get to senior year, and then it's too late.
Right.
So, I think you guys are, addressing that huge problem in a great way, and obviously getting really involved in the trenches. So.
What's really nice is how interactive our program is. So we don't just sit there and lecture to our students. We do fun activities. Like the last activity we did was a debate, which was really fun. We picked a topic, a hot topic, and we picked their side for them, and they had to, read the article and figure out the arguments and then debate one another in the classroom.
That's great.
So we do a lot of fun interactive things like that just kind of get their brain powers flowing, make them feel comfortable. We really want it to be a safe space for them to come, and we see that they see that in us. So it's really important. We always strive to talk to the new person that comes to the meeting so that no one feels left out, everyone's included, and like you said, it's much of a more one-on-one experience for the students.
Right. That's so key. Danielle, let me ask you this. I know, your Hispanic background is more recent, right? So tell me about, what is it that drives you to do the work that you do?
Well, I started learning Spanish when I was a freshman in high school. It's my 3rd language, actually. So I'm not as fluent as my coworkers.
What's your second language?
My second language is actually English. My first language I learned was French.
Really?
So now my English is better than both, so my mother does not like that. But I met Jessica at UMBC. We had a couple Spanish classes together, and we became friends pretty quickly. And when I was about to graduate, I left in 2010, she said, oh, I have this opening at USHYEE that you should interview for. And she knew that I'd had a background, almost every job I had related to education and helping students, so she knew my passions, and it was a perfect fit for me. And now that I'm here, I'm not sure they're ever going to be rid of me. I just love it so much. And what keeps me going, you're asking about the passion that keeps me going every day, is being with the students. No experience can compare, to be honest. You see them, like from the first meeting to now, they've turned around so much. And they realize what we're doing. They thank us all the time. How many young people do that, So just seeing the changes in them and changes in their behavior, stop skipping school maybe, or grades go up. I had one student, her GPA raised to a 3.5 recently. So
wow.
For me, it's the little victories, that keep me going. It lets us know that we're making a difference, one student at a time.
Yeah, that's so touching and also impactful. Like you know that your work matters. So now, for you, Demi, I know that your work, you know, if you continue in your educational track as you see yourself going to medical school, right?
Yeah.
You know, your work is going to be obviously have a completely different impact than the one you're doing now. Tell me what drives you in your academic pursuits. Like, what's sort of behind, you know, I mean, obviously it's really an ambitious path to pursue medical school. So tell me more about that.
Okay. When I was little, my dad had a car accident, and he, as a result, he is confined to a wheelchair, and he has been in a wheelchair for, I think, 18 years, almost 19 years already. And I grew up in the hospital, going to his operations, and the doctors always inspired me, and I had a sense of not just sadness, but I thought it was really fun to be there and to be able to help other people. And I also volunteer at USHYEE Hospital, where I had the connection with the patients and the environment, being in the environment of the hospital. So I really liked it, and I'm also really passionate about helping people that don't have money or don't have resources. And right now I don't have money, but I can serve with my service, with my time, and that's my biggest passion, like helping people.
That's excellent. Thank you both so much. You know, obviously the work that you do is making a difference in people's lives, and you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit of effort in, you know, meeting some people, you know, putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation that, for example, like Jessica did, you know, that connected her to Liz Borunda, and then this organization started, and you know, there's so many ways in which we don't see how our small actions will later become something really great. And I think Latino youth need to see a little bit more of that. You know, how taking a step in a direction that may be unknown, you know, going and volunteering like you're doing, you know, and for you, I mean, the ways in which you've, you know, it really challenged yourself academically to help, you know, English language learners, and then now working, you know, doing something you love. That, you know, people want that, and I think I want to thank you both for doing that. You guys are an example. I hope parents can also encourage students and their kids to really, you know, push them in that direction where they can be serving others. So again, I can't thank you enough. You guys are a great role model for all of us. So as I said, you know, don't forget to check out the USHYEE Forum and all the programs that USHYEE has. Go to ushye.org. You never know, there may be an opportunity there that is right for you. All it takes is doing a little research, pushing yourself in that direction, and you never know, you may be getting a scholarship the way that Demi did. So also, don't forget to join us at generacionlatina.org and connect with us on Facebook. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.
Mom?
Yes?
I've been thinking about it, and I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job, and I want to buy some new stuff, like a new phone, a car.
Son, college is much more important than a new car.
No, Mom, it isn't.
Yes, son, it is.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom. Anyways, it's my decision.
Your decision. Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get, because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college and have a better future.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.